Round 3 of the ANZ Championship started in New Zealand's deep south with the Steel up against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Sunday netball got underway in Perth with the West Coast Fever taking on the defending champions Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic. Then the Trust Arena in Auckland played host to the Mystics clash with the Firebirds. Monday night netball hit Wellington with the Pulse looking for their first win of the season against the New South Wales Swifts. And finally, the late Monday night game saw the high-flying Vixens taking on the Tactics in Melbourne. The Thunderbirds travelled to Dunedin looking for redemption after a disappointing 14-goal loss to the Vixens, while Steel entered the match buoyant after their record-breaking Round 2 win over the Tactics. The Steel jumped out of the blocks early, aided by some impressive defence on Carla Borrego and slick passing to Janelle Fowler, helping the locals to an early 7-4 advantage. The Thunderbirds made a run of 5 straight goals during the first quarter, but the Steel shot 8 of the last 9 goals to lead 15-10 at the first change. The introduction of 22-year-old defender Sam Pullman for the Thunderbirds unsettled the Steel attack, limiting the path to star shooter Janelle Fowler, who shot just 7 goals for the quarter. The influence of Pullman and defensive partner Rebecca Bully and 21 goals from the Thunderbirds shooters saw the visitors shoot out to an impressive 31-23 halftime lead. The Steel rallied in the third quarter, pulling the margin back as Jodie Brown and Philippa Finch found greater access to Fowler under the post, but the Steel ended the quarter still trailing 40-44. It was a tight final quarter, but the Thunderbirds held their composure to claim an important first ever win over the Steel on Kiwi soil, 60-54.
Oh, it's great just to come back from a bit of a loss last week. It's great to know that we can stick to a game plan and come back, and our defence this game was just magnificent, so I think that's what got us there in the end.
The Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic hit Perth looking for an ANZ Championship record-equalling 15th consecutive victory, while the Fever were intent on backing up their impressive Round 2 win over the Mystics. It was a rugged opening quarter with the home side looking strong, led by defensive pair Ebony Beckford-Chambers and Josie Jans. The Magic struggled for fluency on attack, helping the Fever to a 15-9 quarter-time advantage. The Fever extended their lead 29-19 at the half on the back of 11 from 11 shooting from Caitlin Bassett, and a continued defensive effort restricting Magic superstar Irene van Dijk to just 7 goals at the long break. The Magic were put under further pressure in the third quarter as the home side extended its lead to 14 goals, with Bassett and Catherine Cox fed beautifully by Verity Simmons and Shea Bolton. The Magic came storming back in the final quarter, but the damage had already been done. Despite the visitors outscoring the home side 20-12 in the fourth period, the Fever won their first ever match over the reigning champions 57-51.
It's a real team effort today, and just really proud that we backed it up from last week and hopefully can move forward in the competition.
The Queensland Firebirds hit New Zealand shores for the second time in 2 weeks, taking on the Northern Mystics at the Trust Arena in Auckland. The home side was under pressure from the outset, with the Firebirds' attack on song, delivering ball from all angles to Romelda Aiken under the post, leaving the Mystics' defence lost for answers. A 20-11 second quarter by the visitors was due to stifling defence by Laura Geitz and Demelza McLeod, and blistering through-court attack pushing the margin out to 15 goals at the long change. It was a high-scoring third period, with the Mystics pulling the margin back to 11 goals, but the Firebirds regained their composure to win the quarter 18-16. Mystics goal shoot Catherine Latu was unflappable under the post, netting all 23 shots at goal, her 12th ANZ Championship 100% 60-minute return. Despite giving their bench players a run in the final quarter, the Firebirds continued their dominance, totally outclassing the Mystics 72-51 to remain undefeated after 3 rounds.
Mystics aren't a team to take lightly, and we were prepared for a really physical match, and we just wanted to come out and have a really strong first half, and with that lead we were confident going into the second half, but knew that we couldn't take our foot off the pedal. They were going to come back, and we just had to put everything out there, so very happy with that win.
Wellington's TSB Bank Arena was the venue for the crucial Round 3 clash between the Central Pulse and the New South Wales Swifts. The Pulse shot out to an early lead on the back of perfect shooting from Caitlin Thwaites and Donna Wilkins, who hit all 13 shots at goal. The Swifts were hot on the heels of the Pulse, increasing their nuisance value in defence, with Sonia McCaloma particularly menacing. It was the Swifts who opened the second period best, hitting the first 4 goals to take the lead in the opening minutes. The Pulse fought back in the latter stages of the second quarter, capitalising on Swifts' errors to take a 24-22 halftime lead. The third quarter was decisive as both attack ends upped the ante, but it was the Pulse who won the quarter 17-15 to enter the final change with a 4-goal advantage. The Swiss threw everything at the home side in the final 15 minutes, but it wasn't enough to bridge the gap. The Pulse claimed the final quarter 14-12 and the match 55-49 to claim their maiden win of the 2013 season.
I'm very, very happy. You know, we've been wanting to win obviously for the last 2 weeks, and we finally put a full 60 minutes out on court. Very cliche, but yeah, it happened.
The Melbourne Vixens hosted the Tactics in round 3, with the home side looking to maintain their unbeaten run. The Tactics were gunning for their first win of the season and produced a solid opening quarter, pushing the Vixens all the way to trail 12-13 at the first change. The visitors stayed with the home side early in the second period, but the locals soon asserted their dominance. The Vixens outscored the Tactics 19-5 in the second quarter, with Karen Howarth unstoppable on attack and Jiva Mentor pulling in intercepts in defence. It was another impressive display by the Vixens in the third quarter, inspired by more brilliant defence by Mentor and Bianca Chatfield, lifting their side to a 48-27 three-quarter time advantage. The Vixens handed Kate Maloney and Erin Hoare their ANZ Championship debut in the fourth quarter, and the Tactics took full advantage, winning the last quarter 13-12. But it was the Vixens who had set up the win in the first 3 quarters who claimed the match 60-40, their third ANZ Championship straight win of the season.
You come to every match not predicting what the outcome is, but try to work towards putting out your best game. So, I mean, there was aspects of tonight which was fantastic, some really good netball, but there was times where it was a little bit scrappy as well. So, but you know, a good finish to the game. I'm happy a win is a win.
That brings to an end another busy round of action, with the Aussies taking the honours, winning 4 of the 5 Trans-Tasman matchups in round 3.